G'day, Brian here, and today I'm going to have a quick chat about the easiest place or the easiest places to see cheetahs in South Africa. Now, of all the big cats, and people might say leopards, but I can direct you to a couple of places which are fairly easy to see leopards, especially around the private game reserves, around the greater Kruger area, even Kruger itself, South Luangwa. This is in Africa. There's other places as well where you can see them. But of all the big cats, the hardest ones generally to see are cheetah. And their numbers are very low. Now, it mightn't seem like it, but there are estimates that there are something like 900,000 leopards in Africa. And the cheetah numbers, I think, are somewhere between 5 and 10,000 in total. So no comparison there. There are also about 20,000-ish lions. Unfortunately, there used to be a lot more back in the day left. But let's just get back to the cheetah thing. Okay, so the easiest place, or the easiest places to see cheetahs, and I'll mention that won't break the bank. So there are a couple of other places I could bring up, but the dollar value rises as well. The first place I'm going to talk about is Tshukudu Game Lodge, and again that's in the greater Kruger area, so it's open to Kruger Park, and it's just on the outskirts of the town of Hoedspruit, which is basically the safari satellite town for the central part of the Kruger National Park and the private game reserves around there as well, such as the Sabi Sands, Timbavati, Munyaleti, which is part private, part public, but Thorny Bush, Bulule, Karongwe, those sorts of things. There's a couple that I've forgotten there, but around there. So the easiest places, number one, probably the easiest place, is Tshukudu Game Lodge. And they're well known. They don't have a lot of cheetahs on the property, but they do tend to monitor them, and they're quite easy to see because normally one of them will have a collar on. So they're well known. There's quite a few, if you go to the lodge, there's quite a few pictures of the cheetahs of Tshukudu. And it's like 5 minutes from Hoedspruit town. If you go north on the R40, you probably get an Uber or a taxi up there or something like that. Maybe they'll pick you up. But we did one morning game drive and we saw cheetahs, and you might think that's luck, but it's not. Again, they monitor them, so they got they're wild cheetahs, don't get me wrong, but a lot of animals you see, especially the rare ones, you'll see collars. Like, often you see them on African wild dogs, like they'll monitor packs with, not just in South Africa, but in Zimbabwe or Botswana, because they're so rare and they really need to monitor the numbers. So you can call it cheating if you like, but they often have a collar. They'll have a collar on them, and they basically put up that little thing and they track it, and they go out there, and there they are. Cheetahs, wild cheetahs. They hunt. They do everything. They can leave if they want, but they're in that Tshukudu area. Tshukudu Game Lodge. And one thing I'll say about Tshukudu is, if you contact them, you don't even need to stay at the lodge to go on a game drive. They will do morning game drives, afternoon game drives, morning game drives with a breakfast after the game, and this is what we did. So if you're in that area and you want a good chance of seeing cheetahs, and it's, as I said, it's just a central hub, you may well be in the area anyway, Tshukudu Game Lodge would be, to me, the most convenient and also the cheapest way of seeing cheetahs or wild cheetahs in South Africa. The second place I'm going to mention is not that far from there either. It's actually on the way from Johannesburg towards Hoedspruit, but far closer to Hoedspruit. It's about 45 to 50 minute drive from Hoedspruit town, and that is Karongwe Game Reserve. And again, they'll often monitor them. They normally have 3 to 4 cheetahs on the property. This one is a fenced property, but they've got I think they've got maybe 5 camps, or a camp and 4 lodges. When I say camp, I'm talking glamping, and 4 lodges. And often during any particular time of the year, if you look at Karongwe Game Reserve, you'll see the dates and the prices for all the lodges, and depending when you're going, one lodge can be cheaper than the other at one time or another time. So you can pick up decent deals, especially with euros and pounds and American dollars, where the conversion rate is fantastic. In South Africa, not so much. Our Australian dollar with our terrible Australian dollar, but it's still not too bad. But you might be able to get a place in Karongwe for $400 a night, all inclusive. You know, I won't say all inclusive, not inclusive of alcoholic drinks, but your game drives, your meals and your accommodation for around $400 US a night for a couple. And again, the good thing about it is when they find the cheetahs on Karongwe, and sometimes you've got to be careful, but they'll stop the vehicles. They know where they are, especially when they're at rest, and you're allowed to get out and go on foot to the cheetahs, and that's what we did. So we got out. There was a bunch of groups, and they take time, so one car will pull in, or one or two vehicles will pull in. They'll walk to where the cheetahs are if they're off-road and the guides have found them. And you can go and just spend time within, you know, whatever the respectable distance is, 15 metres, 20 metres from the cheetahs, so you're not right in their face. But you may have seen videos in Serengeti and Masai Mara where the cheetahs jump on vehicles and, you know, use the vehicles as lookout points for prey or for you know, things that can predate on them, like lions or whatever. But you'll be able to get out at Karongwe, and that's at the time of this video, and you can walk in there and just spend time in the bush with wild cheetahs. Again, they're not trained. They're used to people, as are all the animals in the private game reserves. It's not that they're not wild, they just pay no mind. So don't think you're going for a zoo experience. You're with wild animals that hunt and can be hunted as well. So for me, these are the two easiest places to see cheetahs in South Africa on a reasonable budget. Tshukudu again is even cheaper again if you want to stay there than Karongwe. Both are very easy to get to from Hoedspruit town. Again, the hub of the safari world in the central Kruger area. So try those two joints if you want to see cheetahs again. Tshukudu, you don't even need to stay there. Just contact them and you can go for a morning or evening game drive and hopefully be able to see those cheetahs. So thanks for watching. Bye for now.